The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Napick. Thank you for joining us. And if you are a regular listener, we really appreciate that. Don't forget to tell others about the show. If you are a new listener, this is a great show to start as we have tremendous guests and a lot of relevant information right here on this show today. In fact, it is tax season almost, and we have a tax attorney on the show, and he has his own talk show called Taxing Times. So we'll get to hear from Mark in a few minutes. In addition, we have Fairway Mortgage Group, one of the top mortgage companies right here in Houston. And as you know, Stewart Title has many, many big distinctions. In fact, one of them is this radio show, and of course, Stewart Insurance as well. But one of our biggest distinctions is our people. And today you're going to hear from business development officers right here in Houston, Texas. You'll find out how and why they are a resource for you as real estate professionals out there, or as anyone that's going through a real estate transaction at Stewart Title, whether it's residential or commercial. So, a lot of great content on this show today, and it's about time to get down to business as Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title begins right now. And here's our first guest. Let's talk to Mark Klecka. He is the president of Klecka Tax Resolution. In addition, he is a radio host as well, an author. His radio show is called Taxing Time. His website is kleckalaw.com. We're going to talk taxes. We're going to find out what to do. Mr. Klecka, welcome to the show.
Hello, Bill. Nice to be with you again. Thanks for the invite. And let's talk about some income taxes, because it's that time of year again.
Well, it is, and taxes, regardless of the time of year, we always have to be on top of them, and if we don't, we know that we get into some kind of trouble if we're not paying attention. And our audience here, of course, real estate professionals, by and large, are independent contractors, and we know that there's many other people that are independent contractors, and we also know that we all have to take care of our taxes in a proper manner. So let's tell people first, Mark, about your company and what you do.
Okay, my company is Klecka Tax Resolution. What I deal with people with IRS tax problems. They're having balances due with the IRS, tax audits, or even worse, if they haven't filed their taxes in several years and are behind in their tax filing. So we deal with people with IRS tax problems, and we work to get those problems resolved and roads towards getting it behind you and out of your life.
Well, that is so important, and I want to hit that a little bit later in the show, but it always astounds me when I talk to you that there are actually people not filing their taxes. But that's I hope that's the minority. But let's talk about the people that are independent contractors. We're starting off a brand new year, and if they have been lax in taking care of their record keeping. Let's hit that, because I think real estate professionals sometimes have trouble with knowing what the right record keeping is and even keeping on top of it.
Right. Well, the best way to do that, the number one thing they need to focus on, and most, it's not just real estate professionals, but everyone, are the infamous mileage log, because that's usually the biggest one of the bigger write-offs that people want as far as being a self-employed person. They want to write off their mileage when they, travel to clients or show houses or whatever they do, and it has to be properly accounted for. And when we go, our experience shows is that when you go to the audits, the first thing that the IRS auditor asks for invariably is the mileage law and the mileage records. And why is that? Because it's the hardest one to keep. And if the IRS auditor sees that you're not very good in your record keeping in that area, then that auditor starts going, well, I wonder how the other records are, what the other records look like. And so it sort of raises their eyebrow. But if the mileage log is kept in good order, everything like that, then they can say, well, I'll bet you that person is a pretty good record keeper. And so they are more inclined to, see that let things sort of roll on through the rest of the audit. But it gives them it's a good first impression is what it is. But, what people need to do is during the year, I tell them two things. They need to get you can buy it at an Office Depot store or office supply store or whatever, and get one of those expandable folders and put a label for like meals and entertainment, supplies, et cetera. And as you gather those receipts, you organize those and you put them into the expandable binder so that you have them organized. So,
as far as the record keeping, mileage is paramount. As you're saying, that creates an impression if you do have an audit. Number two what other record keeping things should an independent contractor have?
Well, you should be keeping your record supplies, any meals, business meals. Now, business meals have gone up in the new tax law, so that's somewhat important now because business meals are now 100% deductible. That has changed for the year 2021.
That's good.
So this coming up this year, that's a big change and a big help for people who are self-employed. Why did they do it? Because of the pandemic and the negative impact on restaurants. So, i.e., that's sort of why it happened. There's always a reason as to why something was changed, and that's the reason for that particular item changing. But, as far as a self-employed person or somebody in the real estate industry, that's some area that they're going to be able to take some advantage of. So, but they need to document, who, what the business purpose of the meal was, time, et cetera, date and everything like that. Of course, your supplies, advertising, any licenses that you have, continuing education, all those type of expenses you need to document, but they are deductible against your business income because it's used for the development or the production of that income.
And that is a good point because real estate professionals, like the tax law, things are changing all the time, and the real estate professional is on a regular basis having continuing education courses and things like that all year long. Let me talk, you mentioned the word audit. Now that brings fear to people. I also know on your radio show, which is called Taxing Times, there are different kinds of audits. Let's enlighten people as to the basic types of audits that there are.
Sure. Well, there are many different kinds of audits. One is it's truly, they don't really classify it as a per se audit, but it really is. It's when you get a letter in the mail and it says up at the top right-hand corner, CP or CatPaw 2000, CP 2000. And it's saying we can't find some records mismatched. We have records in our system that you did not put on your tax return. Please reply as to either, there's a mistake, you did report it somewhere else, et cetera, we couldn't track it, or, we need to pay that. So it's something that is sort of a mail, a correspondence back and forth in the mail. But don't discount that, because if you fail to respond to that, they will send you a letter back saying, okay, you've got 90 days to file a petition with tax court, or you agree with our numbers. So you don't ignore these letters. You need to respond to them. That's the biggest mistake people make is they shove it in a drawer and they think it'll go away. No, you need to actively respond to it. Say, okay, I'm going to meet the problem head on. I'm going to say I'm going to respond to this and return the documents back to them. When you're returning documents back to them, I always tell people my rule is certified, return receipt requested. If you don't, then you said I mailed them, and the IRS says you didn't. And so he said, she said, that doesn't work very well on your behalf. So I always tell people if you're going to send something, make sure they do have a fax number that you can fax this information to now on some of these letters. So that's something that you could avail yourself of, and make sure you get that happening. So that's one. Another one is an actual correspondence audit, which is more of a formal audit. And it'll say something like that. It'll say a correspondence audit. And it's just basically asking you to send them some of your backup documentation and records. And once again, it's dealt with through the mail. And so that's another type of audit. And then there, of course, is the full-blown audit where, we're going to be auditing certain areas, and we're going to be meeting now because of the pandemic world or something. This may be a virtual audit, in some way, shape, or form used Zoom or some other type of transmission facility to do that. However, it's going to be an audit whereby, your items are going to be checked out. And I always tell people when they're going to go do this and they're gathering all this, anything you say can and will be used against you. It's a civil investigation of your taxes. And, you need to take it in that vein and not just go in there and just walk in and just think, well, I'm just going to sort of dance around and,
What we're gathering here, there's two things. Detail is important. Documentation is important. And like you said, that face-to-face audit, I would think they will have those at some point in the year. Like you're saying, they're doing it Zoom-wise or otherwise. But I guess we can call that an eyeball-to-eyeball mark, huh?
And, that's the audit whereby, you're saying, well, how many of these audits have you participated in? And you're going, well, that would be probably none or maybe one or something like that. Well, the person sitting across from you, that's what they do for a living. So they deal with it every day. And they're trained, and they go to training in what is called police interrogation tactics. They try to loosen you up, try to, get you to talk, and you talk, and you might talk about things that they had no idea about asking you about, but then all of a sudden, you bring it to light, and, oh, well, maybe we ought to talk a little bit about that. So, things like that, as you open your mouth, you should answer the questions that you're asked honestly and truthfully, but you're not there to volunteer a whole bunch of additional information to be Mr. and Mrs. Gabby. A lot of people go in there the first time, oh, yeah, he was a real nice person, or she was a real nice person, and we got along, there's no problem. And then they come back a couple of months later, and it's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. People, they're sort of like Joe Friday.
Well, you're reading my mind.
What the heck happened here or something.
Yeah.
So,
well, when you said that, as you're saying this, I'm thinking right before you said Joe Friday, I was thinking of the show Just the Facts, right? Just the Facts, man.
Yeah.
That's what Joe Friday used to say. For those listening and don't know who Joe Friday is, you must be very young. But yes, Just the Facts. And also, these are things on an audit, you are helping people. Sometimes you are there with them. Is that correct? That's part of your services.
Right. Well, actually, we encourage them not even to appear. We can appear on your behalf, and absent being summoned to appear, that we can represent on your behalf. You don't even need to be there in the room. We will gather, we organize all the records and everything like that, and we go through it and produce them and go through them, and you're not needed to be sitting there in the room, and so therefore, you can forego that pleasure, get on with your life, doing something else with your business. We deal with that. So your representative can represent you in your place, and you do not have to physically be there. And now if they want to summons you, yes, they can summons you to talk or something like that. But you can come and are required to appear, but you're not required to volunteer a whole bunch of information. Once again, you just answer questions straightforward. The problem is that people are not familiar with this. They're, number one, they're either intimidated, or number two, they think they're going to be able to blow their way through it or something like that. They have a false sense of their own security or whatever it is, and
as far as the IRS, I did have an experience with them, and they were very nice. And that was, I don't know, probably 8 years ago. I know you run into this, where my identity was taken, and someone already filed my tax return. So my tax provider says, hey, I can't file that. It's already been done. So long story short, I actually went to an IRS office here in Houston, and they helped me right away, and they were very nice. So,
well, especially identity theft, they take that very seriously. And so, if you're involved in identity theft, definitely work with them and get the situation resolved, and they will work towards you in that end because they know that you didn't do it.
And we are talking with Mark Kleka. He's the president of Kleka Tax Resolution. Also, a radio host of the show Taxing Times, heard every weekend. You can go to kleckalaw.com. That's KLECKA law.com. You'll find the coordinates. You'll find past shows. If you like to hear about all the stuff that's happening, Mark fills us in on a regular basis. And, of course, like I said, you can hear the past shows. Anything else we need to know about 2021 that's going to affect the independent contractor?
Yeah, well, one big thing that was just announced just a week ago or something, beginning in February, and this was in the IRS announcement, that they're going to increase audits of small business self-employed people by 50% in 2021. And that includes, people, Schedule C's, so real estate professionals, people like that, came directly from the top man. So, that's what's going to be going on there. And then going on in 2021, that's why we tell people that you got to keep tuned into Taxing Times and see what's going on, because there'll be potentially a bunch of tax law changes. They usually after the year after a presidential election, there usually are a lot of tax law changes. I do not know, what's going to be happening, but there'll be a whole bunch of rumors and things like that going around. But until you see the final draft and the final signature of the book, you're not going to be able to say that this is what the change is definitively going to be. So
we don't know.
There will be changes probably. I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't. So you need to stay abreast of what's going on and how it affects you in your life and your family's life.
And, Mark, let me ask you this. It dawns on me, real estate in Houston and actually around the United States, especially this last, not 10 months, let's say, has been very good. Real estate professionals are making more money than ever. So my question is, especially in 2020, real estate professionals that have been doing well income-wise, some are doing a whole lot better, sometimes twice as much as their commission. 2021 is starting off the same kind of way. So how does the IRS look at the amount of income? Do you know, as far as the audits, like, hey, this person's making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $200,000, whatever it is. Do they look at income and say, hey, we're going to look at that group more or not?
Well, they look at it, supposedly they look at it based on the higher income, but they have a computer score that they are it's very secretive. They don't like to hide. They don't like to.
It's the secret sauce.
How they do it. Yeah. And so they like to, on how the selection is called a DIF score. It used to be called a DIF score. It's called something else now. But anyway, what they look at is your income, your deductions, your zip code, where you live, lifestyle, etc. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's when you get selected. So it depends on, how the scoring goes. So,
well, Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. And let's tell people how they can reach out to you. It's kleckalaw.com is the website, KLECKA law.com. And also, let's tell them the phone number there, Mark.
Okay, the phone number, 844-400-TAXS. That's 844-400-TAXS. And you just dial that number. That's how you get a hold of me at 844-400-TAXS. Our email is just kleckalaw, KLECKALAW, at SMARKCPA.com. So there's lots of ways to get a hold of us. There's a website, the 1-844-400-TAXS, and, email. So, but you really need, if you have a problem, you need to take the first step. The first step is you've got to pick up the phone or start sending a message to computer to say, I need some help. And so that's when we can get to work for you.
No doubt about it. Document, details, all those things, and call Mark Klecka at 844-400-TAXS. Mark, thank you for being on the show.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Thank you very much.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's talk to Seth Saldivar. He is with Fairway Mortgage Company. Hey, Seth, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to talk with you, and we always love to talk about money. People love to hear about it, so let's tell people, first of all, Fairway Mortgage. Let's tell them about your company.
So Fairway Mortgage is a national mortgage company. We've been a top 5 mortgage company. Been in the top 5 for the last several years. But what I think makes Fairway different is that while we have the national strength of being a top 5 company, we really have a hometown feel. Our team in Houston does everything from the application all the way to funding. So we're not handing people off somewhere. Everybody is here in town. And so when our clients tell us they're buying in Single Ranch or South Shore or Katy, we know all those places because that's where our team lives. And so it's definitely national strength, hometown feel. Great company to work with, work for. And then I think one of the other things that really sets us apart is that we're a company that gives back, and not just as a PR stunt or something to get publicity for ourselves. One of our initiatives is the American Warrior Initiative. We do a lot of work with veterans and the families of veterans, and we do things like getting them service dogs, getting them homes. Sometimes we're able to pay off their mortgages. And so we do a lot with that. And then here locally in Houston, our group, the Stephen Curtis Group, we have a charity that we've created, and it's called Lenders Lending a Hand. And we just look for needs in the community that we can give back to. Actually, just this past month, one of the realtors that works with us was in a terrible car accident. And so we were able to get money together and help pay for her medical expenses. And so that's just one of the things we do. We don't do it to wave our flag. We do it to give back. And it's really refreshing to work with a team of people that has our eyes not just on ourselves, but on our community around us.
Indeed it is. That is excellent that you're doing such tremendous work. Obviously, that hometown feel, you have your feelers out so you know what's going on and you know when and where these needs arrive, whether it's in your own family or the community. So that's awesome, Seth. Let's tell people the office that you are in, and you mentioned the Stephen Curtis Group. So let's tell people a little bit about that and where you're geographically located.
So we're located right off the intersection of I-45 and Barrier Boulevard. It's in the NASA area, so south of Beltway 8. And the Stephen Curtis Group houses a lot of loan officers. I believe there's between 25 and 30 of us as of right now. Then we have other offices that are part of the Stephen Curtis Group in Sugar Land, in Katy, and in the Woodlands. And so we kind of encompass the whole Houston area.
Let's tell people, we know that the market has been very good here in Houston for quite a while. In fact, it seems like it's gotten really sizzling hot the end of 2020, and it seems like it's still that way. Number one, is it like that? And what should people do to be ready when they're ready to buy in this type of, or this very active market, we'll call it?
That's a great question. So market conditions, right now we're experiencing a very severe inventory shortage. And so what that means is that for every one home on the market, there's probably 5 to 6 buyers for that one home. And so we have a lot of people that want to buy, and they're having a very difficult time winning contracts, because when you submit an offer, but there's 7 other offers, the seller's picking one, and many times our buyers are missing out. And so very competitive out there if you are trying to purchase a home. And so that's one of the big market conditions and factors right now. Also currently, just recently, with the new presidential election that happened, there's been some volatility with the interest rates. There is uncertainty about the new legislation, things like the stimulus, things like this $15,000 incentive to buy that's being proposed, things about the student loan forgiveness being proposed. all these things have an impact on the economy, on the stock market, which trickles down to mortgage-backed securities and mortgage rates. And so the interest rates are fluctuating. It's not severe, but I'd call it moderate. And so that's something that is to be considered as well. And so for people that are wanting to buy, what should they know? Well, number one, they need to work with somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody they can trust. And then the second thing I would say is they need to be ready. I think a lot of times people think that they can put it off, getting prepared and getting ready. But you really need to sit down with your mortgage professional, put everything on the table, and be completely ready to buy. Because once you start the process, if you're not 100% ready, you won't be able to get that home that you want. And it would be terrible to miss out on your dream home because you didn't do something that you could have done, that you could have prepared for.
Certainly be prepared is the word, no doubt about that. And as you're describing the market conditions a minute ago, Seth, it seems like as the buyer, potential buyers, it's discouraging too if it's that severe, the market shortage or the inventory shortage. So I think it sounds also like having your ducks in a row, but also having the right mindset to go through the transaction. But yeah, that's discouraging that they go through the process and they can't get the home even when they have the financing and things ready.
And we help with that. I mean, we help counsel our clients with that. And we're doing some things on our end to try to help our buyers secure the home that they want. And so one of the things that we'll do is we sit down with the buyer, we kind of talk about the strengths of who they are. And when we know they're submitting an offer on a home, we'll even reach out to the listing agent. And of course, we have to protect our buyer's financial privacy, but telling them what we can about the strengths of our buyer so that as the seller's making their decision, they have some more information on our buyer and their situation, their financial profile. And hopefully that helps win more contracts.
That's a very important word that you just said, and that is strength. If I'm the seller and I'm looking at multiple offers, I'm looking for strength of the offers and which one is the strongest, and that sounds like a great thing you're doing.
We found it to be very successful, so we like that idea. It's working out.
Well, that's awesome. Let's tell people, we have a couple minutes left. What else would you like people to know about your company and what you're doing there, or anything else about the market right now that we need to be ready for?
Sure. I think one of the things that people need to know is many times people think that they cannot buy a home just because they don't understand what's out there. And so there's a variety of products that we work with. For instance, we have a tax ID number product. There's folks that they don't have a social security number, they have a tax ID number. And there's very few companies that can work with clients like those, but we have products for them. We have renovation products for people that want to buy a home, but maybe the home is in disrepair, or they need to repair their own home and don't have the finances to do that. We can help them with that. One of the common myths of buying a home is that you need 20% down to buy your home, but we have down payment assistance programs that can certainly help with that, get people in, and the program actually covers their down payment for them. So I think the biggest thing to know is even if you think you cannot buy, the best thing is to talk to a mortgage professional because maybe there are avenues where you can purchase and you just don't know about them.
Well, the other thing you mentioned, the uncertainty as far as mortgage rates a little bit. We don't know the future. We didn't know it last year or 5 years ago. But if you were to guess, and we look at and what you're finding out about 2021 so far, if you were to guess between now and the end of the year, how do you see the rates go? What would your speculation be? Is it going to go higher? Who knows?
That's a great question. And if I knew, I'd be a very wealthy man.
I had to ask, though.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things we're watching very closely is that the stock market is at all-time highs.
Unbelievable.
And so what we do see is room for a market contraction, a small market crash. And if that happens, then the rates will go down. And so we do see an opportunity for rates to go down momentarily. But what we do see long term is that these are the lowest the rates have
Unbelievable,
been ever.
Yeah.
And so,
crazy.
If we're at the bottom, there's only one way for us to go. And so we do think that long term they'll go up. So as far as the year goes for 2021, we do see an opportunity for the rates to dip lower, but we do see that to be short-lived. And I really do think that potentially by the end of the year, we'll see rates go up maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of a point.
In fact, one of the conditions I'm seeing is that we are so used to the rates have been low for years. They're super low now, but I'm afraid that we're so used to them being low that when it does, like you said, they only have one place to go. When they go up, it's like, oh no, panic time. But,
Yes, and I think it'll put a short-lived halt to the market. I think people will have, sticker shock for a little bit. But ultimately, people need a place to live. And if interest rates are rising, that means other things are rising. That means wages are rising, property values are rising. And so it will all level out. Historically, I believe I had to look it up, but I know the rates that are the historical average, I think are somewhere around 8%. And so, people shudder at 3% and 4%, but that's still very much below what the historical average is for the mortgage interest rate. And so, it'll level out.
We're talking with Seth Saldivar with Fairway Mortgage. Seth, let's tell people how they can reach out to you if they want more information or they want your services.
Sure. The easiest way to reach out to me is by phone. You can call me at 713-591-5298. And of course, if you want to look me up on the web, it's just my name, SethSaldivar.com. 713-591-5298.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks, Bill. Enjoyed it.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
I say it all the time. Stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer, and we're fortunate today to have 3 business development officers right here from the Houston area. So we're going to find out what they do, how they're a resource for you as a real estate professional or someone that's thinking about going through a real estate transaction or going through a real estate transaction with Stewart Title. First, we're going to start with Rachel Saunders in Pearland and the Friendswood office. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All the areas of Houston are so busy, but let's tell people about the 2 offices that you're helping people with every day.
Well, I could tell you we are just as busy as everyone else in the Houston surrounding areas. I mean, it's last year with everything that had happened, our business we were still running smooth like everybody else and closing files for all of our wonderful agents. And it's been an amazing experience to see how much we've grown.
Well, let's tell people we use the term business development officer, business development person, but what you're doing out there, let's tell them what you're doing to help, first of all, real estate professionals.
Well, what we do is we want to help them with learning more and more to help them grow their business. If they grow, we grow. We want to make sure that they have as many resources. So we offer CE classes, which is the continuing education that they may be required to take, but also other skilled classes that will help them in the sales of what they need to do for their clients.
And that's why I say stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. And I know the real estate professionals in your area know about you. And if they don't, they need to know about you because you're doing these tremendous things all the time. So as far as some of the classes, even you may have some upcoming, they just need to be able to call you whenever stay close to you.
Yeah, they just need to reach out to me or check us out on our Facebook pages. We always post them up on there, and they'll be able to sign up easily, and they can do them online and hopefully soon here in person.
And let's tell people, for those that are not familiar with the Houston area that listen maybe on the internet, Pearland and Friendswood. They both sound like very friendly places. It's a great; those are great areas, right?
Yeah, they're amazing areas.
But let's paint a little bit of a picture of where that is and as it relates to Houston.
Well, Pearland is right outside of Houston, down on 288, and then Friendswood's down 45 towards Webster and the League City area. We kind of all interlink with each other, which is crazy.
So we would say that's kind of the south, would you say southeast?
Yeah, so leaving the Houston area, southeast side of Houston is where Friendswood is.
There you go. And also, as far as business development people, I'm describing your role, but at our offices, we have the A-plus team of escrow officers, right?
Oh, we have the best escrow officers. If you're looking for a smooth closing, Stewart Title is where you need to go because all of our escrow officers are amazing.
That's right. In a tremendous way. Well, Rachel, if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do? What's your phone number?
It's 832-418-4778. 832-418-4778.
And before we talk to Jennifer Bradley, anything else you want to add?
Oh, no, just that these two young ladies that are here with me are just as amazing as
you are.
As me.
You are indeed. And let's get on with that. Let's talk to Jennifer Bradley. Jennifer is in League City. Hey, Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Doing great. Everybody's amazing here. In fact, I feel the electricity because every once in a while we'll have one business development officer here, but now we have three, so it's extra exciting. Let's tell people about your office, Jennifer.
I am in the League City and Texas City offices. Most of them have my escrow officers. Some of them have been there 30 plus years.
Wow.
So I really like to meet my customers first and try to kind of partner them with who I think they would work best with.
That's right. And that's one of the roles of what you do is matching people up to make sure that the transaction is, like Rachel said, very smooth. Also, your mother is a tremendous person. I want to say hello to your mom. Let's tell people about your mom, Harriet Dews.
Yes, she's been with the company, I believe, 31 years.
Wow.
And she is the branch manager in our Galveston historic office.
And that's a good opportunity to remind people Stewart Title is over 127 years old. We don't look a day over 90, but we started at that Galveston office, right?
We did.
Well, Harriet Dews, if you're listening, and I know you are, we appreciate you in a tremendous way. Also, going back to your offices, Jennifer, let's tell people about some of the activity and some of the things you have going on there.
We have some CE courses, like Rachel said earlier. We're very active with the Women's Council of Realtors in the Bay Area, and we have a happy hour at Abuelo's in League City. So we're excited, and we did a masquerade ball at South Shore Harbor Convention Center last weekend. Great turnout.
That's
We're
incredible.
ready to get some things going and get back to some kind of normalcy.
Well, I think that's going to unfold as the year goes on. There's no doubt about that. But that's one of the things, the role of the business development officer is the education role. In fact, you just had the Ted Jones, our chief economist, another Stewart distinction. You have had that going on. But it's also every now and then to socialize and have a little bit of fun.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
In fact, that to me, as I looked at the real estate profession here for the last 10 plus years, that's one of the things I think that draw people to the profession. It is a fun profession and exciting.
It truly is.
Let's tell people, how did you even get involved in real estate?
I have worked for Stewart on and off since I was 16.
Wow.
So I left
And you
for a
look
while.
about 18 right now, just saying.
Y'all are being too kind.
So you started at 16, and then
Yes,
what happened?
I would work summers and spring break, Christmas break, all the breaks. They had an opening, and I had moved. My husband and I were moving back to the area from Houston in 2017, and so here I am. I'll be with the company 3 years, April 9th.
Oh, congratulations. That's coming up right
Around
talking
the
about
corner.
tax time. Yes, that is right up. Now, did you consult with your mother about getting into it, the pros and cons? Just
I
curious.
did.
What did
I
she
did.
say?
She loves the business. She loves title, which is probably not the most entertaining thing to sell, but she loves it.
She must for 31 plus years of having that dedication and longevity. So that's awesome. So before we close out the segment with you, what else would you want people to know? And if they want to reach out to you, they need to know about the stuff going on in your area. Let's tell them how they can reach you.
You can reach me at 281-221-1508.
Sounds like you said 281-221-1508.
That's correct, Bill.
See, I'm quick like that. So also, what else do you want to tell people? They should call you, Jenna. If someone's in the mortgage, if they're a realtor, they need to know about you right there in Texas City.
Absolutely. Come and see me. Call me. Email me.
All those things and a lot of stuff going on, especially as we gear up here, spring and summer. It's going to be awesome. Again, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer, and in this case, Jennifer Bradley. One more time, the phone number, Jennifer.
281-221-1508.
And once again, I got to say hi to your mom again. Hi, Harriet. And now here we go. Susan Bottoms right there. And you're not that far away, Susan, from the team that we're kind of working the southeast circle of Houston. Let's tell people, Susan Bottoms, about your office.
Yes, I am at the Stewart Title Clear Lake office, and I also now work at the Stewart Title Gulf Freeway office with Angelita.
That's right, Angelita. That's who I was thinking about.
It's amazing,
when we were talking
yeah.
earlier. Well, the activity, kind of describe what's happening in your world right there. You're right off of 45, right?
45. Actually, both offices. The Clear Lake office is off of Space Center, right there in the heart of NASA, and the Gulf Freeway, yes, it's right there off the Gulf Freeway, 45. And
activity-wise,
it's amazing. Both offices are growing. Their numbers are doubling in orders, contracts, refis. It's just been an amazing 2020, and looks like it's starting out to be an amazing 2021 starting off.
In fact, all that activity, and yet we are inviting people for more because we're there to serve 24/7 right there to help in
That's
2021.
Right. We've been very fortunate. We haven't shut our doors, and nobody's been out sick. The agents are still welcome to come to their closings because it's what makes their clients comfortable. It's who they know. And so, yeah, we're still doing business as normal.
And we're conforming to what people,
and
to
yes,
their needs.
And we
and
do.
If they're uncomfortable or whatever they are, we're
absolutely.
there to make it work.
We wipe the handles down. We wipe the rooms down. We Lysol, the refrigerator, the snack bar, whatever. Everything's sanitized.
We got to
as
take
people
care of
pass through all day.
The snacks are what I look for when I go to a closing. Just saying. In the meantime, do you have any activities, Susan, coming up?
Like the ladies had said before me, we kind of roll ourselves as a team because we are so close to each other. So we support each other. We do our CE classes together. We do the events together. We support each other 100%, the three of us, and it kind of helps us, and it kind of lets the agents know that we're not against each other, that we're here. We don't care where you close as long as it's at Stewart in a Stewart office, whatever location.
I'm glad you said that. That's well put, because I hear it not just at other title companies, but other companies. Sometimes there's a little bit of a rivalry,
yes.
And it's nice to see that teamwork. And I'm going to say this once again, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Right,
absolutely,
Susan?
yes.
See that?
Absolutely, yes.
Well, Susan, if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do?
My cell phone number is 832-851-7935. 832-851-7935.
Before we close the segment, anything else you want people to know?
No, we're just here to support you guys, and we want to be at your beck and call. Anything you guys need to make it easier, since it is so busy out there and active, let us be your legs. Let us pick up your earnest money, your, whatever you need, surveys. Let us do some running for you and take some of that pressure off of you.
No doubt about it. I want to say one more time, stay close to your Stewart Title business development officers here. You just heard three of them. And in fact, observing in our studio room, we have our business development officer leader. He is Mitch Lees, the vice president of our Houston division, observing things and also keeping the team together and leading them in a tremendous way 24/7. Right, Susan?
Absolutely. We, the three of us, have called him, we're his Charlie's Angels.
Well, that's right. Yeah, no, he is. Except his name's not Charlie, but
we're Mitch's Angels.
That's so awesome. Well, Susan, Rachel, Jennifer, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you all for listening. In the meantime, stay close to your Stewart Title business development officer. Right, Susan?
Absolutely. We appreciate you having us, Bill.
Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Once again, the ratings are spiking as John Bramlett comes to the microphone. John, you're with Stewart Insurance. Welcome.
Thank you, Bill. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Wow. I'll tell you what, you feel the energy on this show. The business development people are here. All sorts of great information has been here. So let's tell people, now it's insurance time.
Now it's insurance time. I'm feeling the pressure today. It's been such a great show and such wonderful content from our guests. I'm feeling a bit of pressure.
Well, insurance goes hand in hand with life and everything else, and you always bring forth some tremendous things. What have you for us today?
Well, it's important, I think, on a regular basis that we talk a little bit about cyber criminals and why they specifically target the real estate industry and how they attack. We've talked some about the different ways that you can minimize the risk, and we've talked some about how you can offset the risk. But I think it's important to understand how these attacks can happen so that you can be aware of what those risks are out in the marketplace.
In fact, they are the cyber criminal never rests. They're looking for new ways all the time to get into information and to get after the money. So how should we be vigilant?
Well, the first thing is take a look at why did they target the real estate market. And there's a couple of reasons. One, just consider the amount of money that's running through escrow accounts every day. Not weekly, not monthly, like annually, but every day. We're looking at trillions of dollars.
Massive amounts.
Massive amounts a month. So obviously there's a target. Consider the amount of money that are in operating funds, whether, in different businesses' accounts. So if you're a property manager and you're collecting rent for your clients, or you have a fund that they've established for you to do minor repairs, all that money is out there for the cyber criminals to target. And then the personal identifiable information that's out there that they can pull from and use for their nefarious ways. So social security numbers, dates of birth, addresses, full names, where you work, contact information. That's all that that they can pull and then turn around and sell that information on the dark web. They can use that information to set up fraudulent accounts, or they can eventually use that information to pull the funds that we were talking about a second ago.
Well, at Stewart, we have several ways also we're helping. Stewart Insurance, you have policies and plans for people, and internally and also for our customers at Stewart Title, we are ever vigilant with a tremendous team that's always upgrading our cybersecurity within the company, and as we do each and every real estate transaction, commercial or residential.
Absolutely. Gennady and his team and all the Stewart Title offices, both commercial and residential, do a fantastic job of being diligent because, the numbers are staggering. The percent of successful cyber attacks caused by a phishing attack is something like 90 to 95%. And a phishing attack is simply just a familiar-looking email that you receive that you think, well, that looks right.
Or it's from someone your boss.
Or someone
even.
And you click on the link or the attachment, and it affects you. I had one today. It was one coming, and basically they were saying it was directed to me, and they had an interest in an errors and omissions policy. But the way the words were spelled and the way the sentence was written, and the fact that it was not a business address, concerned me a bit. So I forwarded on to Stewart's technology group, and they sent me a note back saying that this was probably a spam and to ignore it.
There you go. I had one just the other week that we talked about. So it's all there's thousands of these things going out, and we each and every one of us may get one a week or one every couple of weeks. But yeah, you just got to have your antenna up and know what's going on.
Well, there's something like 400 businesses are targeted each day by phishing. 400 businesses each day are targeted.
Unbelievable.
They're estimating that the damages in 2021 could be $6 trillion. That's with the T dollars. So it's a serious. It's a serious issue. And the other thing that's disconcerting about it is on average, it takes somewhere around 191 days before you've been targeted. So just think about all the damage that could be done before you find out that something's happened.
At Stewart Insurance, let's tell people a little bit about some of the things that you're doing to help people.
Sure. There's a couple of things that we can do. One is, as our business development officers talked about earlier today on the show, we provide education. So we work with our clients on how they can mitigate these chances. So what are the things you can do to recognize if it's potentially a bad email, or what are the things you can do to minimize these risks that can occur? Then the second thing that we do is make sure that we understand, what the concerns are of our clients. What are their exposures that they're afraid of, whether it be a homeowner or a real estate broker, title attorney, agent, property management firm. What are the exposures that they're concerned about? And then we can walk through the ways that they can not only minimize those concerns, but then offset those concerns to an insurance company.
And going back to the business development officers, how their resources, what you're saying, you would speak before groups, and maybe you're doing it in a Zoom mode now, but eventually you're still speaking in an informative way to groups, small or large.
Absolutely. So we have 3 CE classes that we teach, and 2 of the 3 have a cyber element to them. So one is about protecting your license. One is basically Real Estate 101. And in those two, there's some cyber elements into it about how you can recognize what those risks are, risks that you don't need to take as a professional, and then understanding when you counsel your clients what risks they might consider laying on to an insurance company versus taking on themselves.
And like everything else, these are ever-changing things that are happening. So some of the cyber plans and attacks are modified, and you're on top of that. The things that you're teaching this year may be different than last year because they're being improved and modified as you go along.
Well, and our insurance partners, we have constant conversations with them about letting them know what we're seeing in the marketplace. They're also sharing with us what they see in the marketplace because they're writing policies on their paper all over the country. So between the two, we're hoping that each one of those areas we're able to improve the coverage. But as I mentioned earlier, based upon the exposure that you have and the exposure that you're concerned about, we may not place you with every insurance company that we represent because each one is different and each one's appetite for cyber or for an errors and omissions in a certain industry are different. So part of our job is to understand where would be the best place to be considered for your insurance policy.
And the other thing, today versus last year, and especially the year before that, the volume of real estate transactions has gone up, I think, in a major way.
Absolutely, and that's one of the concerns that we have from a cyber front is more and more businesses being done remotely. With the growth we've seen, there are some offices that have grown, so now we have more employees that are working remotely that are using their cell phones, that are using their own laptops, and those are all vulnerable. And if a cyber criminal gets into your cell phone or your laptop, they can begin to build a network. And that network could connect to a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different organizations. Suddenly then you have a ransomware issue or you've got a malware issue or they're shutting down your company. And so it's really critical that it's exciting that we've seen the growth in the industry, but what this does also is increase the likelihood and the opportunity for these cyber criminals to attack. Well, if they would like to talk to us more about how they can protect themselves with the cyber liability policy or any business policy for their real estate brokerage firm or their property management firm, they can reach out at 866-798-2827. If they'd like to talk to us about their homeowners insurance, auto, flood, wind, rain, they can talk to us at 866-798-2827.
Sounds like you said 866-798-2827, and that's whether they're in New Jersey, Wyoming, Texas, right?
Absolutely. I'm working
people all over.
I've got clients in Florida, Missouri, Alabama, and I'm working with one right now in California.
How about that? And even in California, they can call
866-798-2827.
We need music behind that, John, right?
We do. We need to have a Stewart Insurance theme song. You need to work on that for us, Bill.
I'll work on it. I'll get on my computer and my instruments. In the meantime, thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you, Mitch Lees, Vice President of the magnificent Houston Division, and it's a mighty division indeed. Thank you, guest BDOs, Mark Klecka, Fairway Mortgage. We appreciate that. If you missed any of this show or you want to hear any shows in the past, simply go to Stewart.com/Houston. That's Stewart.com/Houston. On behalf of Tom Carpentier, John Bramlett, Mitch, Larry Warren, and all the team, thank you all for listening. Right, John?
Absolutely, Bill. Thanks for listening.
Until next week.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.